In 1912, a book dealer named Wilfred Voynich stumbled upon a dusty, leather-bound volume that would go on to haunt the brightest minds in mathematics, linguistics, and intelligence agencies for over a century. The pages are filled with bizarre illustrations of plants that do not exist on this earth and celestial diagrams that defy all known astronomical records. But the true terror lies in the text itself, written in a flowing, elegant script that refuses to surrender its meaning to any computer or human cryptographer. Think about that for a second, a book written by human hands, using a structured syntax and grammar, yet it has remained perfectly silent for 600 years. Is it a masterfully crafted hoax from the medieval period, or a genuine record of lost knowledge that we were never meant to understand? The carbon dating on the vellum pins its origin to the early 15th century, somewhere between 1404 and 1438. This immediately shreds the theory that it was a simple 19th century forgery, forcing us to ask who possessed such complex knowledge in the Middle Ages. The manuscript is divided into distinct sections: herbal, astronomical, biological, and pharmaceutical. The biological section is perhaps the most disturbing, showing small, naked figures bathing in intricate green tubes connected by pipes that look disturbingly like human organs. What kind of ritual or scientific endeavor would necessitate such surreal depictions? Even the world's best codebreakers, the men who cracked the Enigma machine during the Second World War, were left completely defeated by these pages. They found statistical patterns that suggest the text is a real language, not just gibberish, yet it aligns with no known linguistic root in the history of humanity. It is as if the author was speaking a tongue that vanished from existence the moment the ink dried. Consider the audacity of a scribe who could invent an entire script, maintain consistent word lengths, and craft over 200 pages of nonsense that looks like profound wisdom. If it is a hoax, it is the most sophisticated and enduring one in human history, crafted with a dedication that borders on insanity. We see illustrations of women with swollen bellies, or perhaps they are vessels of life, interacting with strange, swirling liquids. The colors are still vibrant after 6 centuries, using pigments that should have faded into dust long ago. Where did the materials come from? Who paid for the vellum, which was an incredibly expensive commodity in the 14th century? There are no marginalia, no corrections, no signs of a draft. The manuscript seems to have been written with absolute certainty from the very first stroke. This suggests that the author was not thinking as they wrote, but transcribing something that was already perfectly formed in their mind. Maybe it was a code designed to hide a heresy, or a forbidden alchemy that could lead to the philosopher's stone. As we stare into these pages, we have to wonder if we are staring into a mirror of our own ignorance. Could it be a botanical guide for plants that only grow on a continent no longer visible to our modern maps? Or perhaps the text describes the stars in a quadrant of the sky that we have not yet catalogued with our terrestrial telescopes. History loves to tell us that we have discovered everything, that there is nothing left to explore, yet this book laughs at our arrogance. Each failed attempt to decode it brings more questions than answers, as if the book itself is actively resisting our comprehension. Some claim it is written in a lost dialect of northeastern Italy, while others argue it is an extinct language from Central Asia. Neither explanation accounts for the bizarre, swirling flora that defies every botanical classification known to biology. Look closely at the roots of these plants. They are not roots at all, but twisted, serpentine shapes that seem to be reaching out toward the reader. Is this a medical document? Are these diagrams of the body's hidden energy pathways an archaic form of acupuncture from a culture we have erased? There is a heaviness to this story, a sense that we are knocking on a door that is meant to remain bolted shut. If we were to translate it, would the information be a salvation for humanity, or a knowledge so dangerous it caused the author to hide it in a code that could never be broken? There are those who believe the author was not human at all, but someone or something that saw the world through a lens far wider than our own. But that leads us into the realm of the absurd, even though the absurdity of the book itself is hard to ignore. Many have lost their careers to this obsession, spending their entire lives deciphering these squiggles, only to end up with nothing but madness to show for it. And here is where it gets disturbing. Every time we think we have a breakthrough, a new algorithmic scan proves that we are merely projecting our own patterns onto the void. We see what we want to see, not what is truly there. Perhaps the manuscript is a test of our own limitations, a trap set for the curious mind that never stops searching. We are like children trying to read the blueprints of a cathedral when we do not even know what a building is. The manuscript currently sits in the Beinecke Library at Yale, safe behind glass, hidden from the world once again. But does it really want to be found, or is it merely waiting for a mind that thinks in a way that we have long forgotten? Imagine the person who first held this pen, their hand trembling as they scratched these characters onto the skin of an animal, knowing that they were creating a ghost. A ghost that would wander through history, silent and watchful, laughing at our efforts to trap it in a box of logic. The ink has survived wars, floods, and the rise and fall of empires, yet it remains as fresh as if it were written yesterday. Time seems to have no grip on the Voynich Manuscript, and that alone should send a shiver down your spine. As the years tick by, our technology advances, and yet the distance between us and the truth of these pages seems to grow. We look for patterns in the stars, in the trees, and in the lines of human anatomy, but we remain empty-handed. The secret may not be in the book at all, but in the silence that surrounds it. What if the book isn't a collection of words, but a map of a dimension that lies just inches away from our own? Perhaps we were never meant to solve it, but simply to witness the existence of something that we cannot conquer. In the end, the mystery of the Voynich Manuscript is the mystery of ourselves, and our endless need to find meaning in the darkness. The book remains, the ink holds its ground, and we, like those who came before us, are left staring at the unreadable, waiting for a revelation that may never come.